In this lecture, we are going to look into if statements. So let's open our Xcode and get another playground. You can use your current one or you can create a new one as you wish. I'm going to create a new one and call this if statements. Well, let's enlarge it and remove the code here. So what is if statement? If statement we are using when we want to check if something is true or false, and based on that we are going to do different logic. So imagine if you have an application where the users under 18 cannot log in. So you ask the user to put the age of the user, and then you check if the age is 18 or up, then you can allow the user to enter the application. Otherwise, you are going to show the user that some notification that they cannot enter the application because of age requirements. Or let's say if you want to check if some variable has a value, then you are going to do a specific task. Otherwise, you are going to do something else. So let's create a few constants and variables, and we're going to do some if statements so you can see what's going on. So first, the if statements are working on booleans. Even though it accepts only booleans, we can use them with our variables or constants combined. Let me show you some examples here. I am 18 is equals to true, and then we're going to say if I am 18, so we're going to say print good, else we're going to say print bad. So first let's look into our if statement. So if we are checking if I am 18 is true, because if always checks if it's true. Then we're using some function here which is default provided function from Swift, which is simply says print. So what the print does is it's like it prints out in a log. So if I run the code here, let's give it a few seconds for our Xcode to run. You see the print out happens here. So whatever we print out, it does in our log here. So this is a good thing if you want to check if some values are correct, if some functions are getting called. It's very useful for debugging as well. So here we have a constant that is true, and you can see the value here, and that the good is printed out. If I change it to false, and if I run again, the bad prints out. So depending on what, if this is true or false, we are getting called different part of our code. So imagine if we are not going to just print good or bad, we are going to show our main application, so the user may enter the application, or we are going to show some notifications to the user. Let's create another example here. So I'm going to check now with our if statement. So I say, for example, var age is equals to 17, and then I'm going to say if age is greater than 18. So now we are using a greater than operator, and what this does is checks if this is true or it's a false. So we can pass a standard boolean, or we can pass some combination that it checks if this is true or false. So in our case, we are going to again say print I am over 18, and else, if this is not true, we are going to say print I am under 18. So if we run our application, our code here, you will see that it prints I am under 18 because our age variable here is set to 17. But if I change my age to be equals to 19, and if I run my code again, it will say I am over 18. But pay attention, if I change it to be equal to 18 and run my code, it's going to say I am under 18. And the reason is we are checking if the age is greater than 18. If it's 18, because 18 is not greater than 18, it's not going to evaluate our first part. So it doesn't say I am over 18. So we can actually use combination of operators. So we can say greater than or equals to 18. And if I run now, it will show that I am over 18. So this part will run because our age is greater or equals to 18. Also, we can say smaller than or equals, or we can say check if it equals 18. So right now, if I run my application, it's going to say I am over 18. This part prints out because this is true. My age is set to 18, and we are checking if the age is equals in if statement. This is checking if both part of like evaluation are true. If I put 1 equal, this is not going to work because when you put 1 equal, this is setting the value of our variable. You need to have 2 equals to check if it's true or false. Another thing is we are going to, like if I change the age to 19, even though it's over 18, our if statement is not going to evaluate because we are checking if the age is 18 only. So this part of the code is going to run only if the age is 18, no matter what else there is. The same thing can happen with strings. So imagine we have a variable name equals to Bob, and we say if name is equals to, and then we say Bob, then we say print hi Bob, else we can say print I don't know you. So let's run our code. It says hi Bob because our name is Bob. But if I, let's say, change this to David and run the code, it will print I don't know you because we're checking if the name equals to Bob. And this can be, as you can see, it works with strings, with integers, with floats, with booleans if it's true or false. And another thing, you don't need to have an else statement. It's not required. You need the else statement only if you want to do a different logic, if it's not the case, if it's not the first case. Another thing we have is else if statement. So we have the if and else, which we already did. But what if we wanted to have like two options here? Like if the name equals Bob, or the name equals to David, or the name equals to something else. Then we will have here, after our if, we put else if name equals, and we put here David. And here I'm going to say, instead of print hi David, hi Bob, I'm going to print hi David. And else statement also is possible. I'm missing a curly brace here. Now we have like two if statement and one else. So if I run my code, let's see what's the error here. Oh, I'm missing a curly brace there. So if I run my code now, you see it's going to say hi David. So how it works? First it starts from the top, and if the first one fails, it will go and check the second one. If the second one fails, it will go to the third one, which is our else statement. But in this type of if statements, if the first one succeeds, so if I put Bob here, and if I run, it's going to say hi Bob, and it will finish here because this was true and there is no need to run the rest of the code. So this is another way of writing an if statement. We can have multiple else ifs inside of it. For example, if I had another variable var other name is equals to David, and then here in else if I'm checking if other name is equals to David. So you see this part is true because the name is Bob, and other name is, this part is true because other name is David as well. But if I run my code, the Bob only prints out because it checks the first one. As soon as it finds something true, it's going to stop running the rest of the code. Even though the second part is true as well, we're not going to get the second part of the if statement here. So this is something to keep in mind when you are using else if statements. If you want both of them to be evaluated, you are going to do it in two separate if statements, and the else statement here won't be required. So what you will say, if the name equals Bob, do this. If the other name equals David, do this. So if I run, you will see that hi Bob, hi David both prints out because we don't have the else if option here. Another operator type is not equals. So for example, I have a var age is equals to 18. Okay, I think, yeah, this is redeclaration, which is not valid because we have an age here already. So let me remove this, and we're going to say if age is not equals to 18, we're going to say print I am not 18. Okay, and before we do this, if I run now, because my age, let's see what is our, yeah, we are changing the age value to 19 here. So this is our age value, and age is not equals to 19 because the current age is set to 19 and it's not equals to 18. So our code here is validated and it prints out. So we have different type of operators here. We have equal equal, which means equal. We have greater than or equals, which checks if something is greater than or equals to the other part. We have not equal, and then we have smaller than or equal. So if again we're checking with numbers, then we have just greater than something or smaller than something. So when it comes to booleans as well, so for example here, let me actually remove all this code so we can work with our boolean here. So imagine we have I am 18 is equals to false. If I run my code, it prints out the second part, the else statement, because I am not 18, I am 18 is false. So this part is not code. But if I put an exclamatory mark here, which says I am if this is not true. So without this mark, it checks if this is true. If I put it, it checks if it's not true. So this is kind of a not word. So not equals, and then we have equal equal, which is equals. So if I run my code now, it will print the good because this is not true. So our I am 18 is false and it's not true. But if I change it to true, the value is not, doesn't evaluate, and it goes to the second part where we have the path here. So this is our like not operator.